Growing grapes in a container sounds like something out of a gardening fantasy. A beautiful idea that feels impossible for anyone who doesn't own a vineyard or acres of open land. Most people imagine grapes as plants that need wide open fields, long trellises, and endless rows of vines stretching beneath the sun. They picture grapevines twisting around wooden posts, climbing wires, and producing fruits only professionals can grow. But the truth is far more exciting. Grapes thrive in pots more than most people realize. With the right container, soil, and gentle care, a single grapevine can produce more fruit than you ever imagined possible, all from a balcony, porch, patio, rooftop, or even a sunny corner of your backyard. Welcome back to Daily Plant Life, where we turn simple plants into abundant harvests and show you how to grow food anywhere, no matter your space or experience. Today, you're about to discover the complete, deep, long, slow, richly detailed process of growing unlimited grapes in a container. A process that transforms an ordinary potted plant into a miniature vineyard overflowing with sweet, flavorful clusters. And to understand how grapes can produce endlessly in a pot, you must first understand the nature of the plant. Grapes are vines, but not just any vines. They're climbing, stretching, reaching vines driven by a natural instinct to explore upward and outward. A grapevine is energetic. It doesn't grow neatly. It doesn't stay compact. Instead, it searches for support. It wants something to hold on to, something to climb. And when it climbs, it doesn't just grow foliage. It builds strength, and that strength becomes the foundation for fruit. Everything begins with choosing the right grape variety. Grapes come in countless types, each with its own personality, flavor, growth habit, and vigor. Some are aggressive climbers that stretch endlessly, while others remain compact enough to thrive in container gardening. The best varieties for pots are those that produce well without needing massive root systems or acres of space. You want a vine with stamina, disease resistance, and the ability to fruit heavily on restricted roots. A healthy grape seedling or young vine with flexible green stems and strong leaves becomes the starting point for everything that follows. Next comes the pot. The container you choose becomes the vine's permanent home, its soil, its environment, its foundation for life. Grapes need deep, spacious containers because their roots anchor strongly and grow long. A container capable of holding 15 to 20 gallons of soil provides enough depth and width for the vine to stretch its roots comfortably. Grapes do not like cramped roots. They thrive when they have ample space to grow downward, even if they're restricted from spreading outward like they would in open ground. And drainage holes are absolutely essential. Grapes dislike waterlogged soil. The roots must breathe. Otherwise, the plant suffers and fruit production drops significantly. Now we move to soil, the life force of your grapevine. Grapes do not grow well in compacted, heavy soils. They crave loose, airy, well-draining soil that stays moist without becoming soggy. A mix of high-quality potting soil, organic compost, and coarse materials like perlite or pine bark creates the ideal structure. Grapevine roots are vigorous and exploratory. They push through the soil searching for nutrients, air pockets, and moisture. Loose soil allows this exploration to happen naturally, preventing root suffocation and encouraging steady growth. Planting the vine becomes a moment of transformation. When you settle your grapevine into its pot, spread the roots naturally instead of forcing them into tight shapes. Roots want to grow downward and outward gently. As you backfill the soil, press lightly to eliminate large air pockets, but avoid packing the soil tight. Water deeply after planting to help the soil settle and give the roots their first drink in their new home. This first watering marks the beginning of the vine's journey. A journey that may start slowly but grows more powerful as the seasons pass. The climb is next. Grapes are naturally wired to climb, and without support, they sprawl chaotically. But when you give them a structure, a trellis, a wooden post, wires, a fence panel, or even a sturdy stake, the vine finally understands its direction. It grows upward with purpose. It thickens. It strengthens. and every inch it climbs becomes potential fruiting wood later in the season. Grapes grown without a trellis produce weak vines and poor fruit. But grapes grown with structure behave like professional vines, balanced, focused, and productive. As your vine establishes itself, watering becomes your steady rhythm. Grapes prefer deep watering rather than frequent shallow watering. When you water deeply, the moisture reaches the bottom of the pot, encouraging the roots to grow downward instead of staying near the surface. Deep roots equal stronger vines, better fruit, and higher resilience. Let the top few inches of soil dry slightly between watering sessions. Grapevines dislike soggy soil but appreciate consistent moisture. Achieving the perfect balance keeps the plant growing at a steady, healthy pace. Sunlight becomes the next key ingredient, and for grapes, sunlight is everything. Grapevines crave direct sunlight. They thrive in full sun conditions and become sweeter, more flavorful, and more productive when they receive 6 to 8 hours of bright sunlight daily. Grapes use sunlight to produce sugars, and those sugars become the sweetness of the fruit. Insufficient sunlight leads to lush vines with minimal fruit, but abundant sunlight leads to full clusters, rich color, and high sugar content. As the vine grows larger, feeding becomes essential. Grapevines in containers rely completely on the nutrients you provide because the limited soil cannot replenish itself naturally. Early in the growing season, the vine benefits from balanced organic fertilizers that support leaf and vine development. But as the plant matures, the feeding focus must shift to phosphorus and potassium, nutrients responsible for flower and fruit production. Gentle, slow-release feeding or monthly organic fertilizing helps ensure the vine has everything it needs to produce large, abundant clusters year after year. Then comes the process that defines grape growing, pruning. Pruning is not optional. It is the heart of grape production. Grapevines grow rapidly, often producing long, leafy runners that stretch wildly. If left unpruned, the vine diverts its energy into foliage rather than fruit. But with proper pruning, you control the vine's direction and channel its strength directly into grape formation. Pruning increases airflow, reduces disease risks, strengthens the vine structure, and encourages the growth of fruiting canes, the parts of the vine that produce grape clusters. During the first year, your vine focuses mainly on root and shoot development. Do not expect a massive harvest in year 1. The vine is building itself, strengthening its trunk, establishing its root system, and learning its structure. But by year 2, the vine begins to reward your patience with clusters of fruit. They start as small, firm green pearls, slowly swelling and softening as they mature. Watching grapes form inside a container feels almost magical, a reminder that the size of your garden doesn't determine the size of your harvest. As the season progresses, the grapes grow fuller and sweeter. Sunlight deepens their flavor. Healthy soil nourishes their growth. Container-grown grapes often taste richer because the soil warms quickly and stays controlled. No weeds, no pests from ground soil, no competition, just a perfectly managed environment. Container vines need this level of attention, but they repay you in abundance. The vine becomes stronger each year, its trunk thickens, and its fruiting potential increases. Over time, your container grapevine starts producing more clusters than you expect. Enough to fill bowls, share with friends, or enjoy fresh from the vine. Growing grapes in a pot is not just gardening, it's partnership. The vine teaches you patience. It shows you how growth works in seasons. It rewards consistency, sunlight, careful pruning, and thoughtful feeding. And once you experience the first full harvest, warm, sweet grapes that you grew with your own hands, you understand why grapevines are among the most loved plants in human history. Containers allow you to control everything: pests, diseases, soil quality, drainage, sunlight exposure, and feeding schedules. This control is what makes unlimited grapes possible. Because with the right attention, a single container grapevine can produce more clusters annually than you expect. And as the years go on, the harvests become even bigger. This is the long-term beauty of growing grapes in a container. It's not just a seasonal project, it's a living investment. Every year adds strength. Every season adds production. Every cycle adds abundance. Growing grapes in containers is more than gardening. It's a slow, rewarding relationship with a plant that gives you food, beauty, shade, and satisfaction. It teaches you the importance of structure, patience, pruning, and timing. It brings a touch of vineyard magic into your everyday living space. And once you start, you'll never want to grow just one vine. Because the experience is too powerful, too beautiful, and too fruitful to stop at a single pot. And that is the beauty of growing grapes in a container. A patient, powerful journey that transforms a simple pot and a single vine into years of sweetness, abundance, and pure harvest joy. Grapes don't need acres of land to thrive. They just need sunlight, structure, and the steady care you've learned today. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to Daily Plant Life, and turn on notifications so you never miss another garden-changing tutorial. Until the next video, keep growing, keep learning, and keep your home filled with life.